If you know you deserve a place in nursing because your marks are good and you feel you deserve it, yes, fight for your place so that you can get in. But should things not work out, have a plan of what's going to happen forward. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Silibaziso Mupereki, and on this channel I cover everything to do with university life, nursing school, and international student experiences. In this video today, I'm going to be speaking about everything you need to know to apply for nursing school. I've divided this video up into 7 sections. You can see down below in the description for the timestamp in case you just want to move over to the process that you are currently in at the moment. So the 7 sections include the marks that you need to get, the application process, finding the right school, the documentation, the follow-up, the acceptance, and finally the preparation for nursing school. So before we start, there's 2 things that I need you guys to be aware of. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about applying for the 4-year bachelor degree at a university. Because of the new rules that SANG have put into place at the beginning of last year, colleges can no longer provide the 4-year bachelor degree. You can only receive that at a university. At colleges, you can get the 3-year diploma in nursing as a registered staff nurse or a general nurse, and not a registered professional nurse. Another thing that you need to note is at the beginning of last year, there was a new program that was phased in, which is the Bachelor of Nursing in Midwife. That means the previous degree that was there, the one where you graduate as a general nurse, community nurse, psychiatric nurse, and midwife in the 4 years, it will no longer apply. You'll be registering as a Bachelor of Nursing and Midwife. So you only be registered as a general nurse and midwife. I'll go more into depth into this whole new program in my video next week. So the first thing we're discussing is the marks that you need to get. So the subjects that you need to have in your end of year matric year, you need to have maths, English, life science or biology. You can have physics and chemistry, but it is not necessary. The first 3 are the most important, and you need to have a code 4 in all of them. But I would like to advise you guys to not get the bare minimum. And the issue with this is because universities have such a high demand for nursing that they'll usually take people that have the highest marks. They only take 150 students per year, and there's usually more than 1,000 students that are applying. It's better that you aim higher than the minimum requirements that they expect you to have. So the second thing is finding the right school and deciding whether you're going to apply at a university or at a college. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, there's been new changes that have been applied, so therefore you need to decide what exactly do you want to apply for and obviously go for the correct one. Another thing, you need to make sure that your university or college is registered by SANG, which is a South African Nursing Council, because if it is not and you finish studying your degree or you start studying your degree, SANG will not recognize it and you have wasted your time studying that degree. You can check for these universities and colleges on the SANG website. I've included all the links down in the description box so you can go check it out. The third thing is the application process. As I was saying when I was speaking about the marks, there's a lot of competition to enter nursing school, and therefore you need to apply early. The next thing is nursing must be your first or your second choice. If it's your third choice, they will not look at your application. And then another reminder is that you are entering the new program, which is Regulation 174 instead of Regulation 425. Regulation 425 is the one where you graduated with community nursing, general nursing, psychiatric nursing, and midwife. But in the new program, you only be registered as a midwife and general nurse. You need to be aware that nursing is a full-time program, so therefore you can't do it part-time. And in South Africa, there's only one intake, which is in February. Applications open in March and close end of September. Apply as soon as you have your mid-term results, or even your first term results. You can use those to apply even before you've done your June exams. Okay, so the fourth thing is your documentation. This obviously differs whether you're a South African student or a non-South African student. If you're a South African student, you need your ID document and you need your matric results. So as an international student, there's obviously different documentation that you have. And international students are grouped into 2 groups. You've got the first one where they're coming from another country for the first time and coming to South Africa to study, or those that have been in South Africa and did their matric in South Africa but they're not South African citizens. You'll be considered an international student. You require your passport with a valid study permit, or a refugee status, or whatever documentation that you're using in South Africa to be able to study. Then you need to have your end of high school results or your matric certificate if you did it in South Africa, obviously your imalusi certificate, or if you did study in South Africa, then obviously the results are just given to the university after results come out, as with South African students. And then there's another thing called the SAQA evaluation form. This is a bit complicated. I'm going to try explain it as best as possible. With some courses, they will require you to have a SAQA evaluation form. This is mostly for students that are coming outside of South Africa and into South Africa, where you need to convert your outside country results to South African results. But if you did your matric here and you are an international student in South Africa, you wouldn't be required of it. But the problem is, when you do your application online, they cannot always differentiate whether you did your matric here or not. Even if you tell them, sometimes they're very difficult and not understanding that. It is very important that you speak to them over the phone, and even going to in person, and required to speak to someone with regards to your SAQA evaluation form, because it's not always necessary, especially if you did your matric here. And should you do it over the phone to check up on your application, please make sure that you're getting the names of the people that you're speaking to, so that in case something does go wrong and you go in person, you need to be able to have the names and contact details of the people that you're speaking to, so they can follow up on that. The fifth thing is your follow-up. Yes, it is very annoying having to inquire every single week, every single 2 days, hour, whatever, trying to find out what's going on with your application. There's a lot of determinants that cause that delay of you finding out how far your application is. The computer system might take a while to let you know that you have been declined, so it is better that you find out if your application is still in process, what's going on with it, so that you can find a way forward. So for those that do not have nursing as their first option but their second option, remember, like I said, if it's the third option, they don't even bother looking at it. But if nursing is your second option, you first have to be declined for your first option before they can look for application as a second choice person. So you need to find out what's going on with your first choice. If you with your first choice you've been conditionally accepted, they will wait until you're either accepted or declined for your first choice before they can look at your second choice. Very important to follow up. Sometimes they might even decline your offer because of your SAQA evaluation form, even if you have done your matric in South Africa. So it is very important that you follow up what's going on with your application, what's causing the delay, so that you can sort it out instead of just waiting for them to tell you what is going on, because that will take forever and spaces will fill up and you end up not having a place to study. Okay, so the sixth thing you need to follow up on is your acceptance. So sometimes you'll be given conditional acceptance using your first term, your June exam results, or even your September matric results, and they'll give you a conditional acceptance until they receive your final matric results. This will usually be because your marks are good, but they're not good enough compared to the other applicants they have. So they're hoping that your matric results or end of year matric results are better. So if you get conditional acceptance, this should be a sign for you that you need to be getting better in your end of year matric results. And then another thing, once you've been accepted, you've been given the final acceptance, there's usually a time frame for you to accept that offer that you have been given. There was an instance with me where I was given 24 hours to accept, but the time I saw the email, the time it was sent, it had already been more than 20 hours. And unfortunately, I lost that place at another university I wanted to go to because I did not look at the time frame that they gave me. So once you have been accepted, you need to look at how many days. It's usually within 3 working days, but sometimes if it's a lot of applications that they have, they'll usually say within 24 hours you need to accept that offer. So if you are not sure that you want nursing and you want to see if the other university is going to accept you for another offer and that sort of thing, you need to be sure that the other offers that you're looking at is a definite that they're going to give you, or you follow up on them quickly to see where you stand with those other offers you're looking at. Because if the time runs out and you accept that offer late, your position already have been given to someone else. Nursing will have a lot of people applying. Obviously that's a given. There's a lot of people that apply for nursing every single year, and sometimes they will cap how many people they can have in the mainstream. The mainstream is those that do their course in 4 years, and then the surplus that they have, they usually put them into the foundation program, but I'm not sure if it's there for the new program. I heard there's a rumor that there might not be a foundation program for the new program. Last thing is obviously the preparation of this whole application process and going into university. When you're applying, you must look at the university and what are the application fees. Some universities it's free for international students, or it's just free if you do it online than if you do the hard copy one. The price is usually between 100 and 200 rand, but with COVID it might go up, who knows. So you must be aware of the university you're applying and which forms of application they accept. Some universities they only do online, some do both online and printed copies, so you must be aware of the university you're applying to and which ones they accept. And then another thing I would like to say is, if you want to do nursing, please have a passion for it. There's a lot of students that are in nursing right now that treat patients terribly, that have a terrible work ethic, that do not want to be there but just apply because there's a secure job, I'll always have a salary and always have a job. And then you'll be taking away space for people that really do have a passion for nursing. So honestly, I would urge you, if you're going to apply for nursing, have a passion for it, because honestly there's already a bad name that we have terrible nurses in South Africa and that sort of thing, and we do not need any more students that are going to have that attitude just because they want to have a secure job and all of that jazz. Nursing, there's a lot of demand for it. There's a lot of people that are constantly applying for nursing, so you need to know what's your plan A, B and C should nursing not work out. You can do another course like a BSc Life Sciences, or even a completely unrelated course and bridge in, or there's other courses that you can do like a BSc Natural Medicine, you can do pharmacy, you can do physio, etc. Those type of courses, they have similar modules as nursing, and you can apply the following year for nursing, but obviously you have to work harder for it and that sort of thing. But like I'm just saying, you must be prepared for the worst, and it's always better to be prepared than to be caught off guard. Yes, I do know we all aim to like, no, I'm definitely going to get in, and it's true. If you know you deserve a place in nursing because your marks are good and you feel you deserve it, yes, fight for your place so that you can get in. But should things not work out, have a plan of what's going to happen forward. Are you going to apply at another university for another course? Are you going to take a gap year? Whatever the issue is, you must have a plan B, because you do not want to be stranded where you put all your eggs in one basket and it doesn't work out. And then another thing, especially for international students, you need to be aware that as an international student, all your fees need to be paid upfront. So they usually require the full amount by the time you register, or they require the half amount. You can work around with the student credit management team and tell them you'll pay the registration fee and then pay in monthly installments, but that's just another war that I have to fight every single year. And I mean, you can also join the war if you would like, but I would rather suggest or tell you in advance that they're going to require your fees upfront, and the fees usually range between 30 to 35,000 depending on the year. This year it's 33,350. Next year it might go slightly higher, so you must be aware of those costs that are going to be coming. Obviously there's other costs like your uniform, the traveling and all of that jazz, so please get your budget together, because you do not want to apply and then you get the place and then you do not have the fees for it. It's a terrible place to be in. This is also the time for you to start applying for your bursaries, because they usually also open at the same time as your university applications. So while you're doing your university applications, start looking for bursaries. For South African students, they usually every province there's usually a health department bursary. Like I know with the Western Cape, you've got the Western Cape Health Sciences bursary. There's obviously NSFAS. There's a whole other bursaries that have got to do with something to do with nursing. With international students, it's a lot harder. I've been failing to find obviously bursaries or scholarships that have anything to do with international students. And if you do find them, most of them are for like your second or third or fourth year. So start hunting, start getting scholarships, start doing your crowdfunding, like your backup buddy and that sort of thing, so you can get your funds together. Because wow, university is expensive, especially with nursing. There's a lot of things that you're going to be paying out of pocket, like your textbooks are quite expensive. You're gonna need your stethoscopes, your BP machines, thermometer, uniform. You're going to be needing money to travel from hospitals. You're going to be needing accommodation. So pretty much what I'm saying is get your budget together, at least about 50,000 for everything for the year. You need to know that you're going to be having that amount of money when you start, or during the course of year there's going to be some sort of income that's going to give you that money before you apply, because it is very expensive, and you do not want to find yourself stranded in the middle of the semester and you do not have money anymore. And then the last thing that I'm going to say with regards to the preparation, university or nursing is a very demanding course. I'm definitely going to go more in depth into it with a video that's coming in about 2 weeks on what to expect from nursing school. But there's going to be times when you're not going to have time to have a social life. Like they say, when you're in nursing school there's no social life, and to a certain degree that is true. It's because you are balancing going to school full time while also working at a hospital once a week. If you're in second year, it's twice a week, etc., etc. So you need to be aware that a lot of your time is going to be committed to university and your books and that sort of thing, and you need to get your time management together. Even matric, you're doing haphazard, you need to get your life together. So I know this was a lot, it was a mouthful. I'm also tired, my throat is slightly dry, because definitely that was a lot of information that I gave you, but I definitely hope that helped you in some way or another. If you still have questions, definitely comment down below and I'll definitely answer all of them, or you can DM me on Instagram at Mupereki. So until next week, when I'm going to be speaking about the new nursing program, turn on the notifications so you can be notified when that video will come out. Have an awesome day. Thank you. Bye.